James Harper, 45, stepped off the red-eye flight into Charlotte Douglas International, adrenaline still pumping from closing a $20 million deal for his biotech firm. His gray eyes sparkled with visions of a new chapter, exotic trips with his wife, Elena, 43, and their twin sons, UNC juniors. The sale of his company, built on cutting-edge gene therapies, was his ticket to freedom. His phone pinged. His lawyer, Sarah Klein, confirmed the funds were secure. Grinning, James booked an earlier flight home, eager to surprise Elena at their sprawling Lake Norman estate. The cab ride was quiet, the city's glow fading into suburban calm. James's mind danced with plans, a yacht, maybe a vineyard. But as he pulled into the driveway at 1 a.m., a sleek silver Maserati sat in his spot, its chrome glinting under the moon. His stomach knotted. Elena hadn't mentioned visitors. Suspicion replaced his excitement. He tipped the driver, grabbed his suitcase, and slipped inside, the house eerily still. Upstairs, the master bedroom door was cracked open. James's pulse spiked as he nudged it wider. His breath caught. Elena lay entwined with a stranger, her auburn hair spilling over his chest, both asleep in his bed. The man's suit was draped over James's leather armchair. Fury surged, then froze into icy clarity. James pulled out his phone, the flash cutting the dark as he snapped photos. He grabbed the man's wallet and keys, hands steady despite his shattering heart. The wallet revealed Derek Walsh, 38, a luxury car salesman. James slipped outside, started the Maserati, and drove to a nearby lot, his mind already plotting. Betrayal demanded justice, smart, legal, ruthless. At a budget motel off I-77, James checked in, Derek's belongings on the bed. Sleep was impossible. By dawn, he drove to Derek's address, a modern townhouse in Ballantyne. Mia Walsh, 36, answered, her face etched with exhaustion. "I'm James Harper," he said, holding up Derek's license. "This was at my house, with my wife." Mia's eyes widened, then narrowed. "Come in." Over black coffee, she spilled Derek's history, late nights, vague excuses, a second phone. "The Maserati's in my name," she said, voice hard. "I could report it stolen. It'd ruin him." James leaned forward. "I'm divorcing Elena. Let's make them pay, legally." Their handshake was a vow. Mia called the police, reporting the Maserati stolen from a friend's address in Dilworth. James would park it there, no fingerprints, no trail. He met Sarah Klein at her uptown office, the photos on her desk. "Your fortune's safe," Sarah said. "Prenup protects the $20 million. We'll file for divorce today, serve Elena tomorrow." James's jaw tightened. "Do it fast." Back at the motel, Elena's voicemails piled up. Confused, then desperate. He ignored them, his focus laser-sharp. The Maserati sat in the Dilworth lot, a gleaming trap. James smiled grimly. The game had begun, and he was 3 steps ahead. James Harper sat in the dim motel room, the Charlotte skyline a faint glow beyond the window. The images of Elena tangled with Derek Walsh in their Lake Norman bed seared his mind. But at 45, James was no stranger to control. His $20 million biotech fortune was secure, and his alliance with Mia Walsh, Derek's wife, was a calculated strike. Their plan, reporting Derek's Maserati as stolen, had set the gears in motion. Now James gripped the car keys, ready to tighten the noose, legally and precisely. He drove the Maserati to a quiet Dilworth street, the cafe Mia had named as the theft location just ahead. Wiping the keys clean, he parked, tossed them into the passenger seat, and slipped away in a cab. Mia's text came minutes later. "Police notified. Derek's been called in." James exhaled, a flicker of satisfaction cutting through his pain. Derek's career as a luxury car salesman hinged on trust. Trust he was about to lose. Back at the motel, James ignored another pleading voicemail from Elena. Her voice shaky. "James? Where are you? Please call." His focus stayed sharp. This was chess, and he was playing to win. Across town, Derek Walsh sat in a police station, his tailored shirt rumpled, his charm useless. "This is a misunderstanding," he stammered, facing two officers. That's my car. I parked it at a client's last night. The senior officer raised an eyebrow. Your wife says it was stolen from a cafe. No record of you at any clients. Derek's stomach dropped. Mia's report had blindsided him. His boss at the dealership, already furious over the stolen Maserati report, had texted, "Explain this, Walsh, or you're done." Derek's lies unraveled as the police pressed harder, his career teetering on collapse. Meanwhile, Elena paced their Lake Norman estate, her auburn hair pulled into a messy bun, waking to find Derek's clothes and car gone, and James unresponsive had sparked panic. Had James seen them? She called Derek, her voice low. Your Maserati's gone, and James isn't answering. Did he take it? Derek, still at the station, snapped, I'm in deep trouble, Elena. My boss knows. If this blows up, I'm finished. Elena's heart raced. She checked the bedroom, noticing James's suitcase missing. Her calls to him went unanswered, each ring amplifying her dread. James drove to UNC Chapel Hill, 2 hours away, to face his twin sons, Ethan and Noah. The campus cafe was buzzing, but the boys' faces fell at his grim expression. Dad, what's wrong? Ethan asked, his voice tight. James took a deep breath. Your mom betrayed us. I caught her with another man. I'm filing for divorce. Noah's eyes widened. No way. Mom? Ethan gripped his coffee mug, jaw clenched. Is it true? James nodded. I saw it. I'm sorry, guys. Tears welled, but the boys leaned in. We're with you, Dad, Noah said. What's next? James softened. I'm starting over, new business, new life. Your tuition's covered, always. Ethan squeezed his shoulder. You've got us. Back in Charlotte, Mia faced Derek at their Ballantine townhouse. He'd been released, no charges, but the damage was done. Mia, please, Derek begged, his voice raw. It was a mistake. Mia's eyes were steel. You've been lying for years. I'm done. I'm filing for divorce. She consulted a lawyer, using James's photos as leverage. Derek's face crumpled. You talked to him, didn't you? Elena's husband? Mia didn't flinch. Get out. The kids and I deserve better. Derek grabbed a bag and left, his world collapsing. Mia texted James, he's gone. Papers filed. James replied, good. We're almost there. That evening, James met his mentor, Tom Reed, at a low-key uptown bar. You're playing this smart, Tom said, nursing a whiskey. What's the next move? James's eyes gleamed. Health tech startup, gene therapies for the underserved. The $20 millions my seed money. Tom grinned, turning betrayal into purpose. Classic Harper. James nodded, a spark igniting. Elena and Derek's deceit had shattered him, but he was rebuilding stronger, sharper. Tomorrow, Elena's divorce papers would land and the real showdown would begin. The Maserati was just the opening move. James Harper leaned back in the motel chair, the faint hum of Charlotte's I-77 traffic filtering through the window. At 45, his biotech empire had netted him $20 million, but Elena's betrayal, caught in their Lake Norman bed with Derek Walsh, had ignited a fire. His alliance with Mia Walsh, Derek's wife, was paying off. The stolen Maserati had cost Derek his job, and Elena's divorce papers were hours from delivery. James's phone buzzed, Mia's text, Derek's out of the house. My lawyer's moving fast. James replied, same here. Stay strong. Their pact was a lifeline, binding two betrayed souls in lawful retribution. Morning broke and James drove to Dilworth's trendy coffee shop to meet Mia. Her dark eyes were fierce, though fatigue lingered. Police closed the Maserati case, she said, stirring her cappuccino. Derek's name is trash at every dealership in Charlotte. My lawyer's using the photos for leverage. James nodded, his jaw tight. Sarah's serving Elena today. The prenup locks her out of the $20 million. She'll get half the house, nothing else. Mia's lips twitched. We're rewriting our stories. James raised his coffee. To new beginnings. Their cups clinked, sealing their resolve. Across town, Elena sat in her home office, the Lake Norman estate's silence oppressive. The divorce papers arrived at noon, delivered by a stone-faced courier. Her hands trembled as she tore open the envelope. The words infidelity and dissolution burned, photos of her and Derek attached. Her breath hitched, she'd been caught. The terms were brutal, half the house's value, no claim to James's fortune. Her job as a paralegal felt like a lifeline slipping away. She called her friend, attorney Jenna Cole. James has proof, Elena whispered, voice breaking. 3 affairs. I can't fight this. Jenna sighed. Sign it, Elena. The photos are airtight. Take the settlement and start over. Elena's mind reeled. Derek had been a reckless thrill, a distraction from her routine. The other two affairs, brief, impulsive, now haunted her. She texted James, "I'm so sorry. Can we talk?" No response. Driving to the estate's dock, she stared at the lake, memories of family summers with Ethan and Noah crashing over her. She'd lost it all. Back inside, she found James's closet half empty, a post-it note on the mirror, "Lawyer handles everything. Goodbye." Her knees buckled, regret a crushing weight. Meanwhile, Derek faced his own spiral. Jobless, he crashed at a buddy's condo, the Maserati repossessed by Mia for tax issues. His former boss had blacklisted him, rumors of the scandal spreading. Desperate, he called Elena. "Your husband did this," he growled. "That Maserati stunt killed my career." Elena's voice was hollow. "He's divorcing me, Derek. We're done." Derek slammed his phone down, staring at the peeling wallpaper. His charm was useless now, his life a wreck. Mia's divorce filing loomed, her lawyer citing his infidelity. He was cornered. James drove back to UNC Chapel Hill to see Ethan and Noah. The twins met him at a campus grill, their faces a mix of anger and loyalty. "Mom called," Noah said, pushing his fries aside. "She's a mess, but we told her we need time." Ethan added, "We're with you, Dad. What's your plan?" James's eyes softened. "A health tech startup, gene therapies for those who can't afford them. The $20 million's my seed. You two keep shining." Noah grinned faintly. "You're unstoppable, Dad." Ethan nodded. "Mom screwed up, but you've got us." James hugged them, their strength fueling his fire. That evening, James met Sarah Klein at her uptown office. "Elena's lawyer called," Sarah said, flipping through papers. "She's not fighting. Wants it done fast." James's voice was steady. "Good. Sell the house, split the proceeds. I want no ties." Sarah nodded. "Smart. We'll wrap this up quick." As James left, Elena's latest voicemail played. "James, please, one last talk." He deleted it, his focus unwavering. Derek was down, Elena was crumbling, and James was rising. Tomorrow, he'd meet Mia to plan their final moves. The game wasn't over, but the board was his. James Harper stood on the balcony of his Charlotte motel, the city's skyline a jagged silhouette against the dusk. At 45, he'd turned his biotech empire into a $20 million fortune, but Elena's betrayal with Derek Walsh had shattered his trust. His alliance with Mia Walsh, Derek's wife, had struck hard. Derek's career was in ruins, and Elena's divorce papers had landed like a guillotine. James's phone pinged Mia's text, "Derek's begging to come back. I'm holding firm." James replied, "Stay tough. We're almost done." Their lawful revenge was a masterclass in precision, and the endgame was near. James met Mia at a quiet South Park cafe, its warm lights a contrast to their steely resolve. "Derek's been blacklisted from every major dealership," Mia said, her voice steady despite the strain. "My lawyer's pushing for full custody and the house." James nodded, sipping his espresso. "Elena's not fighting the divorce. Sarah's selling the Lake Norman estate, half the proceeds go to her, nothing else." Mia's eyes glinted. "We're taking back our lives." James raised his cup. "To freedom." Their toast was a silent vow to see this through. Meanwhile, Elena sat in her paralegal office, the divorce papers a heavy weight in her drawer. The photos of her with Derek attached to the filing were a humiliating truth. Her coworkers' whispers stung, their glances a reminder of her fall. She'd confessed to Jenna, her attorney friend, about the three affairs, each a fleeting escape from her crumbling self-worth. "You've got no leverage," Jenna had said. "Sign the papers, take the house share, and rebuild." Elena nodded, tears falling as she signed, her signature sealing her regret. She texted James again, "I know I ruined us." "I'm sorry." Silence answered her. Across town, Derek's life unraveled further. Jobless and shunned, he'd moved into a dingy apartment, his Maserati gone, repossessed by Mia. His former colleagues avoided him, the stolen car scandal a stain on his reputation. Desperate, he called Elena. "We need to fix this," he pleaded. "James and Mia planned that car stunt, I know it." Elena's voice was flat. "It's over, Derek. My marriage is done, and you're toxic. We did this." Derek cursed, slamming his phone down. Mia's divorce filing had arrived, citing his infidelity with James's photos as evidence. He was trapped, his charm useless. James drove to UNC Chapel Hill to check on Ethan and Noah. The twins met him at a campus diner, their faces a mix of resolve and pain. "Mom's been texting us," Ethan said, stirring his soda. "She's sorry, but we're not ready to talk." Noah added, "We told her to give us space." "You're a rock, Dad." James's heart swelled. "I'm launching a health tech startup, gene therapies for the underserved. The $20 million's my foundation. You two keep pushing, I've got your backs." Ethan grinned. You're building something amazing, Dad. Noah nodded. We're proud. Their hugs grounded him, a beacon in the storm. That evening, James met his mentor, Tom Reed, at a sleek uptown lounge. You're playing this like a maestro, Tom said, clinking his glass against James's. What's next? James's eyes burned with purpose. The startup launches in 6 months. Affordable meds, global reach. Elena and Derek broke me, but I'm rebuilding bigger. Tom chuckled. That's my guy. Turn pain into power. James nodded, a fire kindling. The divorce was nearly finalized, and Derek was a pariah. The plan was working, but a new twist loomed. Back at the motel, James got a call from Sarah Klein. Elena signed the papers, she said. But there's a complication. She's claiming emotional distress, says you orchestrated the Maserati scandal to humiliate her. James's jaw tightened. She's got no proof. It was Mia's car, Mia's report. Sarah's voice was calm. Exactly. We'll counter it. The prenup holds, and the photos are undeniable. We're set for a quick settlement. James exhaled. Push it through. As he hung up, Elena's latest voicemail played. James, I'm drowning in regret. Please, one meeting. He deleted it, his focus unyielding. The board was still his, and he wasn't done playing. Part 5, Triumph from Ashes. James Harper stood in the sleek lobby of his new Charlotte office, sunlight streaming through floor-to-ceiling windows. At 45, he transformed the pain of Elena's betrayal into a $20 million health tech startup, now months from launching affordable gene therapies worldwide. His alliance with Mia Walsh had dismantled their spouses' lives. Derek's career was ashes, Elena's world shattered. As James reviewed launch plans, his phone buzzed. Mia's text. Divorce finalized. I'm free. James smiled, replying, Same here. We did it. Their lawful justice had prevailed, but the final chapter awaited. 2 years earlier, Elena's divorce papers had landed, her 3 affairs exposed by James's photos. The Lake Norman estate sold, splitting proceeds, leaving her with a modest condo and her paralegal job. Derek, blacklisted after the Maserati scandal, scraped by in a rundown apartment. James, though, had soared. His twins, Ethan and Noah, now UNC seniors, thrived, their bond with him unbreakable. At a rooftop gala for his startup, James stood with his new partner, Lauren, a brilliant geneticist he'd met at a conference. Her sharp mind and warm laugh had rekindled his hope. The gala buzzed, investors toasting James's vision. Ethan and Noah mingled, proud of their dad's comeback. You turned it around, Noah said, clapping James's shoulder. Ethan nodded. Mom's still struggling, but you're killing it, Dad. James hugged them, his heart full. Lauren squeezed his hand. This is just the start, she said, her eyes bright. James nodded, a fire burning. His startup was his legacy, healing lives while Elena and Derek faced their reckoning. Across town, Elena attended a coworker's engagement party, her smile forced. The divorce had stripped her social standing. Friends distanced themselves, whispering about her affairs. Therapy had helped her face her guilt, but seeing James's startup in the news, his face confident, Lauren at his side stung. She'd texted Ethan and Noah, rebuilding fragile ties, but their loyalty lay with James. Sipping wine, Elena caught her reflection in a window, her eyes heavy with regret. She traded love for fleeting thrills, and the cost was everything. Derek's fall was steeper. The Maserati scandal, orchestrated by Mia and James, had branded him a liability. Mia's divorce left him with nothing. She'd opened a thriving boutique with her settlement, her kids flourishing. Derek worked odd jobs, his charm a faded memory. At a dive bar, he scrolled X, seeing James's gala posts. Rage flared, then fizzled, he'd lost. Mia's text to James months ago summed it up. We rebuilt. They didn't. Derek downed his drink, alone, his arrogance a distant echo. At the gala, James spotted Elena's name in an email. A last-minute plea to meet, sent to his lawyer. Sarah Klein had forwarded it. She wants closure. James shook his head, deleting it. Lauren caught his eye. You okay? She asked. He smiled. Better than ever. They danced, the city glittering below. His mentor, Tom Reed, toasted him later. You turned betrayal into triumph, Harper. James grinned. Couldn't have done it without my boys and Lauren. The next day, James visited UNC to see Ethan and Noah graduate. The twins hugged him, diplomas in hand. We're starting a biotech internship, Dad, Ethan said. Noah added, your startup inspired us. James's throat tightened. You're my strength. Back in Charlotte, he and Lauren reviewed startup data, their partnership sparking innovation. Elena and Derek's choices had consequences, her isolation, his ruin. James, though, had built a new life, a thriving business, a loving partner, and his son's pride. The gala's final toast echoed in his mind. To resilience. As Charlotte's skyline glowed, James Harper stood tall, his future boundless.